This is Unofficially Official. I'm Star Miller, and
I'm Mayor Mike.
we want to welcome you to our podcast where we fully intend to educate you on all things local. Welcome back to Unofficially Official. I'm your host, Star Miller, and I'm here with
Mayor Mike Pavey.
And I'm Kyle Gardner.
Yes, he's all mic'd up.
All the technology.
Kyle has his own intro now.
I love it. Okay, we're going to do something different.
And why are we doing something different?
Well, because you have brought interns onto the scene of the city center, and they know better than we probably do. But Grace Sharman came up with a good little list and kind of a little game of true and false for me, too.
Okay.
Volley your way.
Are you asking the question?
Yes, I figured I would since I'm the host.
Okay. Because I thought some of these might be tough for you to answer.
I'm not answering them, you're answering them.
I
Okay.
assume that.
Ready? True or false? Local government affects your daily life more than the federal government does. I'm going to answer these with you because I'm bossy.
What would you think?
False.
I would say true.
Why?
I'd say true.
Just because, everything you do is basically...
Perhaps it's vague. Local city government affects you. I'm thinking I live in the county, so do what you...
think about it. You've got local property taxes. You've got local programs. Everything you do is.
Federal government gets to decide if those programs get money, so that means if they are alive or dead.
True.
Okay, we can. This is showcasing the talent on this podcast, and we are willing.
We agree to disagree.
That's right. Okay,
and your locals. They also, if you have an issue, you can go to your locals a lot easier.
Yeah, Kyle wants to get that last word.
Yeah.
That's his job.
True.
Third man in control.
Most people only notice city government when something goes wrong.
I think that I don't think that's true, but because if you go out in public like this weekend or this last weekend,
people say positive things.
They say positive
for sure,
things,
yeah.
But I think due to social media, that's the habit. The habit is most people get upset. They post something on social
keyboard
media.
warriors.
Yeah,
I can't. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Nothing is really changing in Rushville right now. True or false?
that's false. That's false. But I again, some of the times you might see how people feel that because we know that every day we're working on different programs that are going to be rolled out, and there's a lull between the programs.
And to all things, there's timing, especially projects. Kyle, what are we doing with this? Okay, he's making it hard for me to read. The city controls every road in Rushville. True or false?
That is false.
And why?
So any of the highways, believe it or not, if you have a pothole on a highway, we can't fix it.
Yes,
so,
I know this.
So the state highway says, hey, leave it alone. Let us deal with it.
Mm.
Some of the times, like I say, there's other regulations, but usually it deals with the state and their roads or the federal system.
Yeah.
Sometimes private, little small side street alley type deal.
There's a few places in certain locations around town where it's a city county. So like Spencer Street, believe it or not, crazy as it sounds, Spencer Street, as you make the turn headed up Rushville Road, to the left side is the county, and the right side is the city. So you have some unique little pieces like that around.
That's fine where there's a housing addition on the right side. You're welcome, friends. Grant money can be used for anything the city wants. True or false?
Well, I would say that for the most part that's false, but it would depend on who the author of the grant is. So in other words, federal government is super restrictive on grants.
Mm-hmm.
The state government is it's more lenient, and then when you get into special funding places like Eli Lilly, they're a little bit more relaxed. So it's totally dependent upon what the grant is and where it is coming from, who is doing the granting. Some spaces are extremely modified or monitored, and some I think are more free.
If you get a street grant,
you can't put a roof on the city center.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And the city center does not need a roof.
That's
clear.
Thank you.
True or false? Small towns compete with each other for businesses, housing, and residents.
Sure. That's true.
Yeah, true, of course. Especially where we live, don't you think? Because the small town, we just kind of are peppered with little small towns around.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that it's kind of interesting that, you've got incorporated towns, and then you've got our incorporated municipalities in the county, and the two we have are Glenwood and Carthage. And then you have,
Represent.
yeah, then the others, like I say, we're obviously a city. And then the rest are they're really just communities out in the county that the county
Like
represents.
Manila.
Yep.
The owls out there.
But the bigger thing is, I think they compete with each other, like in our county. But the bigger thing is we compete with. We talk about all the time when we're having conversations like this. There are those who are our comparables. So our comparables are towns exactly like us. Tipton, very much like us.
Okay.
Scottsburg, very much like us. Tell City, very much like us. Sullivan. Those are towns about our size that if you were looking for a best practice, you could go to look at them and see what they're doing to say they're about the same resources, the same people, and so we could probably look at their documentation and say we could probably change it and use it. Now our competition are those people that we compete with, which are usually those around us.
I was going to say geographically closer,
Shelbyville, Greensburg. We kind of the nice thing is Connersville, Newcastle, but for the most part, the ones we compete the most with, we're now in their region, so it's not as cutthroat, not near as
competitive.
Yeah, competitive. We kind of have come up with different ways of trying to compromise on trying to just get people into the region.
Sure, yeah.
Into just our community.
Is this highlighted because I should go? Okay. One social media complaint can sometimes influence city conversations or decisions. True or false? I'm not touching this. That's a tricky question.
I'm going to say yes, but here's the big trick: somebody's got to find it. I mean, somebody has to find.
Somebody also has to author it. Like, I mean, if you have a question, say you have a question.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody putting a comment out there. What you're looking for, and this is as transparent as I can be. You have what I would consider 25 frequent flyers, and those are people who are going to, if we
dive bomb the comment section. I don't even consider those. Like, I don't. That's not information.
If you gave away $1 million, they're not going to be happy, and so it's kind of the old the sky is falling or crying wolf, I guess is the way.
Or
I put
damned
it.
if you do, or damned if you don't.
It's when a new name pops in and says, you know what, this is an issue. You notice the new name, and usually someone will pick that up. I'm going to tell you that people don't want their mayor to be out.
Thanks, we don't.
Well, you don't want your mayor to be glued to a monitor looking at social media comments because you're paying that person to go out and do the work and to come up with a plan and to have the vision. And when you get scared of what a person would say, and some of those people some are knowledgeable, don't get me wrong, but some of them are, let's say they're I don't even want to give the profession, but they may be from Palo Alto, California, putting a comment about Rushville, Indiana, and you kind of go, one, why are you commenting about Rushville, Indiana? But number two is, what is the connection that you're trying to make here? And so you don't want that. Usually some of the times Kyle or Kim or someone will pick up on something and say, hey, by the way, and we'll say, is there deviation from normal? If there is, we'll look into it and see, do we need to do something? But for the most part, social media is social media.
Can I ask this? Would you prefer people just sending you an email or the appropriate department head an email? I mean, I don't know. I have this shtick about social media being a place of true information sharing.
We've got the Comcate, go to the website and kind of put in that could be more code enforcement stuff, or just sometimes picking up the phone and calling the city center.
I think that's where we're going to look to solve the problem. We're not going to look on social media. Like right now, I can tell you that we're dealing with an unhappy resident, let's call it. And quite honestly, at a certain point, you just go, we can't go the direction you want to. And you can put 85,000 posts out there about Kyle is a SOB or whatever you want to put. Or
wait a minute.
Or the mayor is this, or Kim didn't answer that. You can put that out there, and it kind of just loses its value.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that,
because it's not really relevant to anyone else. I mean, just because it was perturbing to you as
yeah,
an individual.
And so, like I say, it is one of those where I think we do a really good job of paying attention at the front end and trying to do things right and answer it.
And remaining open to people communicating with you directly, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at some point, when the decision is made, and some of the times those decisions are mine, some of the times they're Kyle. He's Kyle. This is something that's in your area, or sometimes we'll take it to the council. And when the council comes back and says, "Hey, we're done with that. We are not talking about it anymore," really, honestly, the mayor doesn't have any authority at all. I mean, it's one of those.
I think it's a misconception that the mayor has just unbridled authority.
Yeah,
sorry,
especially on the big policy changes. In other words, ordinances.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
An ordinance in the average person's world is they're changing a quote unquote local law.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't change local laws.
And you also trust your department heads that you have placed.
Yeah. So
explicitly.
I think that if you find the person that it needs to go to and you follow that path, you're going to be much more
let's
successful.
bring them wagons back around. I mean, just talk to people directly.
Yeah, I think that's best.
Also, I should say, I think social media has a place. I think it's a great way to spread information if you need to, but for that reason, I think that it's also annoyingly dangerous. The mayor can make decisions without city council approval, true or false?
True.
Okay.
Now it kind of, you may think that contradicts what we just talked about, but when it comes to an ordinance, I can't do that.
Okay.
But there are decisions that the council or the city council and the board of works give me latitude to do. And if I ever feel like, I'm not sure that that's within the range of what I should be doing, that's why you'll see it appear on the agenda. I'll go in and say, hey guys, this is a decision I think is right. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, you just give your recommendation.
But now the day-to-day operations of the city of Rushville are kind of left to us here. But then whenever it gets into changing policy and changing direction, we do go back and there are a lot of, it's funny to listen because we do a really good job, I think, of going back to the Board of Works and the council and saying, hey, we're going to put this out here for you. And people outside of Rushville say, oh, you don't need to do that. You don't have to. I'd rather both of them know, and I'd rather both of them be in favor of it as opposed to just telling little bits and pieces to each party or for each of the groups to try to sway something. We usually, for the most part, just say, like, if you look at the agendas are pretty close because we're telling them pretty much the same thing.
That was a really good answer.
Thank you.
Very thorough. Young people have very little influence on local government. True or false? That's a great question.
You know what? I would say I think that's false, but I don't think they know it. In other words, I think that, like, these interns here, they do
look, Grace Jarmus just walked in here, said you should do this, and here we are.
That's right. And I think that's something you grow into.
Sure, and to feel like you have a claim on it, right? Yeah. A claim to an opinion, I guess.
I think that's one of the things that if you 6 months of the year, I think the kids have a great amount of influence because we bring them in here. We say, how do we keep this current? And how do we relate to you? And how do we talk to you? And they say this. And for the most part, we do it while they're here, and we do it about 3 months after they're here. And then you kind of get back into that
old person.
The old person. Well, and it gets winter, and everything kind of slows down, and then all of a sudden, here they come again with a whole new set of ideas. So I think that. And
also, do you want to identify who they are? We didn't say that. We probably should have.
So this year we have
brief interlude for this, please.
We have a new group of interns, and in the engineering side of it, we have Tristan Norris. He's a Purdue student.
Ball State.
Wow, right out of the gate.
You're right, because the whole family is Purdue.
Yes.
Tristan is Ball State.
He's doing urban planning and stuff up there.
Great kid.
Urban planning.
Yeah, and he's been here for a few years, so he's pretty comfortable. You can see the level of confidence.
Oh, he has been here for a few years? That's good.
He worked in planning and zoning with Sam for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then you have Grace Jarman, and Grace I think she's in her senior year at...
No.
I think she's at University of Indianapolis. No,
Indiana University of Indianapolis.
Yes, and
Thank
so she.
God, Kyle's here.
Yeah,
the school formerly known as IPY.
Yeah,
that's right.
That still got me because I still say it wrong a lot. Trying to figure out the right answer, I usually say University of Indianapolis, and that's wrong. It's IU of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And then we have Cindy Tush. Cindy is going to be, I think, a senior maybe at ISU. And so just a little bit of background. Grace was originally law enforcement or in that arena.
Okay.
And has kind of changed from that. I think she is still playing in that same major, but now in public policy. So
this was very well written, I will say.
Yeah.
And I'm a harsh critic.
She does a really good job of that policy side of things. So we got one kid in the engineering world, one kid in the policy world.
Awesome.
And then Cindy comes in, and believe it or not, she's
a bubble of joy.
I said, you don't need to give her Mountain Dew. Because she is a very energetic young lady, and she is a social media influencer. So she does a lot of work in the area of how to communicate with people and what best way to
because
make that
it
connection.
Changes all the time. Isn't that wild? Isn't it wild how much it changes?
Then you're going to have two more. Then they'll come in, but they're high school seniors coming on, and that'll be Sam and Eli Pavey. And Sam is more of your production side of media, and so what we'll do is try to partner him up with Cindy and try to do some things of general information. And then Eli is a little bit more of your tech savvy side, so he'll be kind of working with Kyle flying drones and trying to put together.
Be out there with Kyle Gardner flying drones.
Well, they like that side of things, and he'll probably be doing some of the Grace stuff where it's more policy.
Oh, I love it. It's fun.
So, yeah,
it does feel more fun in the studio today, doesn't it?
They do. They do bring a different life and attitude to the job.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Most city projects take much longer than people realize. True or false?
I say that one's absolutely true.
Yeah. I think any project takes much longer than you realize.
Well, that's true. I did think that's true, but I think that people don't understand that if we had a road project awarded today, it probably wouldn't be built till 2031, and that's not me exaggerating. No. That is where they are in putting them together. So
it's the way construction projects work too, honestly.
Well, and it's tough, and I really do understand the general population's confusion, because like right now we're building Morgan Street Trail, and people will say, "Well, this is a surprise to me," and it's like, well, that's probably because we talked about it when it was awarded 4 years ago.
Sure, which, I mean, that does make sense. That's valid.
And so we've talked about it, and we get bored talking about it because nothing's happening. And all of a sudden it goes into design, and then it goes into acquisition. It goes through all the processes they go through, and then all of a sudden it starts getting built, and everybody's forgot it's even a project out there. So, yeah, it does take a long time. Like I say, today we talked to Grace today about starting to work on a blight program as a whole, to put our program together. And she was like, there's this look of fear on her eyes, like, oh my gosh, how soon do I have to have this done? And it's like,
lunch today.
Yeah, and I think that's what she thought. And we were like, no, this is going to take, working in it a little bit here and there, it's going to take you probably 6 weeks.
And observations in between, yeah.
Yeah,
don't you think?
By the time she rolls it out, her work that she starts today will probably be useful and used in 6 months, I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, by winter time.
Yeah, so everything does take a lot longer than people anticipated taking.
Are we, Kyle, to ask these final questions that are in red, or you feel like those are controversial questions?
I don't think so. I think on this one we're good.
Oh.
This
screen down. We're not reading those final questions.
This podcast is solid. So
okay, that's good.
We got a lot of good information.
Grace Sharman. I mean, she did a great job for those questions. That was good. That was a good podcast.
Yep.
That wraps up this episode of Unofficially Official. We thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed today's episode, you can subscribe to our show on your streaming platform of choice.